sex, drugs, and rock and roll. What happened in the 60s? The cultural shift was incredible. Hippies, protesters, women's liberation, the New Age movement, civil rights. What a historical moment that was. Something happened in the 60s. People began to doubt their government. People began to opt for self-expression. Hippie culture brought about the idea that perception is reality, man. But 60s counterculture was born from anti-authority. Indeed, this was needed as a shift in many ways because the authority in question was in need of critiquing. But this new counterculture laid the ground of a type of left-wing individualism, one that sought to break free from the confines of societal standards. Eventually, Ayn Rand came to the fore. The cult of market worship was released. Right-wing ultra-individualism was born. The 60s, then, is the birthplace of the individualistic society. As the documentary The Century of the Self showed, advertisers and marketers sought to create a new society in which people's expression of identity, the so-called self-expression born from the culture of the 60s, could be harnessed into consumerism. Therefore, in the most ironic of twists, the anti-authority culture of self-expression from the left, overlaid with the propagation of free market individualism, blew open the doors for the consumerist society. Now, we are defined by our brands. To express yourself means to shop accordingly. Who would have known that hippie culture would be the precursor to consumerist culture? The elite have gotten richer than ever by manipulating us with well-thought-out advertising and marketing to get us to overconsume in the name of being ourselves. Joke's on us. Furthermore, the New Age ideas originating in this movement led to the idea that all ideas are relative, that we create our own reality, that anyone's opinion is just as valid as any other. Indulgence and hedonism reigned. Let's not forget that just because government can be bad doesn't mean that government is in and of itself bad. It was the government, after all, that landed us on the moon, built our schools and our roads. The hyper-individualistic society of the self cannot last long. So it's time for a new cultural revolution. Just like the explosive spark of the 60s, this time it'll be just as fun, musical and expressive, but it must defy self-expression as an act of consumption and defy the cult of individual and irrationalism. A new cultural revolution is to come. This time, let's make it a cultural revolution of becoming our best selves and actually being in it together.